Hello there, YouTube. It's your boy B3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. So, as you know, Venom is one of my favorite Marvel characters, maybe even my favorite comic book character of all time. I reviewed all the Donny Cates Venom run, Absolute Carnage and all its tie-ins. I reviewed King in Black and several of its tie-ins, still more to go on that. But I love me some Venom. I've reviewed multiple Venom runs in their entirety, and Venom events and tie-ins and stories and stuff. But today, we are looking at the sequel to the Donny Cates Venom run, Venom by Al Ewing and Ram V, Volume 1, Recursion. This is the 2021 Venom run. So Al Ewing and Donny Cates swapped books when they ended their stuff. Because I did review Immortal Hulk as well. I still have a couple volumes of Immortal Hulk to review. I've reviewed the story, I just got to review all the tie-ins and stuff. So if you want to check out Immortal Hulk or the Donny Cates Venom run, I have reviewed all of them. But yeah, they swapped books. So now Donny Cates does Hulk and Al Ewing does Venom, which is very interesting. Let me read you the back of Volume 1 here real quick. One blockbuster era gives way to another. Symbiotic writing team Al Ewing and Ram V join superstar artist Brian Hitch to unleash their vision of Venom. Together they will push Eddie and Dylan Brock to their limits as everything Dylan has come to know and love unravels around him. He begins to realize the terrible truth about his new other. The Venom symbiote is not a harmless pet, no matter how much it pretends to be one. It's an alien, a dangerous, violent, often bloodthirsty alien. Whatever bond it had with Dylan's father, Eddie, as special as it may have been, is now gone. And Dylan might be gone soon too, because the villainous Life Foundation is back, led by the insidious Carlton Drake, and they have a new Venom Square in their sights. Rated T from Teen, T14 from Marvel, sorry. Collects Venom 2021 1 through 5 by Al Ewing, Ram B, Brian Hitch, Andrew Curie, and Alex Sinclair. Still a horror book, still cosmic-y, still anti-hero-y. It does seem to retcon a lot from the end of Donny Cates Venom, because the end of Donny Cates Venom, set up this run, but it seems to have changed. Dylan's first bond with the symbiote. Apparently, that first bonding from the end of the Donny Cates run didn't happen, and it seems like Eddie isn't as hyper aged up from doing his symbiote stuff as he was at the end of Donny Cates. I don't know. His hair is blonde again and stuff, so I think they made him younger again. But it starts off with kind of a flash forward with Dylan bonding with the symbiote for the first time. And he does look a little different than Eddie. He has the chains on him still, like he did at the end of Donny Cates. And I think the chains are kind of an homage to Spawn, because, Spawn creator Todd McFarlane did co-create Venom. So I've seen, Spawn and Venom, salute each other often. I actually recently got into Spawn. I've been reading a lot of Spawn recently, and you can really see it. So I think the chains are specifically supposed to be a nod to Spawn. But yeah, then we come back to the present, and there's going to be a lot of time travel-y stuff. And I'm not the biggest fan of time travel-y stuff these days, but it's just overdone and often confusing. But, Eddie Brock has put his consciousness in a symbiote, and he has all these other symbiotes that he's named after the Beatles to keep track of them. And they're stopping these pirates and quote-unquote human traffickers in space, while Dylan Brock is having trouble at school. He's got Sleeper to talk to, and the Venom symbiote lives with him, but that symbiote kind of just disappears every now and then. The place is a wreck because, a teenage boy basically lives there by himself. And Eddie's body is often there, but he's plugged in, and his consciousness is in space doing stuff. And it seems like one of the symbiotes he was commanding is possessed by something else. Something that, kills all the people Eddie was trying to save out in space. And then Eddie shows up to Dylan, and he's like, Dylan, pack your bags, we gotta go. But then Dylan gets a phone call from the real Eddie, and it seems like the Eddie that's in his house is fake, so Dylan has to bounce. And Eddie is, his body's in just like a cheap hotel or whatever. So he tries to connect to symbiotes in the future with his new symbiote god powers, and he sees this symbiote called Bedlam, and he sees Kang the Conqueror, who's saying he's his friend. Since there's time travel stuff with more villainous characters, it seems to make sense that Kang is in this, but that might also be just because he's big in the MCU right now. But yeah, we see him call Dylan, and then Dylan comes to the hotel to meet his dad, but there's an explosion. Seems like Eddie dies. The Venom symbiote comes to rescue Dylan, and the symbiote bonds to Dylan. So Dylan has to fight off a bunch of soldiers, Eddie Brock gets kind of a symbiote body and ends up in what appears to be some kind of afterlife for Kings in Black, and there's this other King in Black there that greets him. And this King in Black is called Meridus, and it's hard to know what to think of him because he seems real villainous, but he's being nice to Eddie. He is the villain, though, don't get me wrong. So now Sleeper, the Venom symbiote, and Dylan are kind of just on the move, and they have to meet up with one of Eddie's old reporter contacts while the Life Foundation is hunting them. But the contact kind of gives Dylan up to a different corporate organization. You know how it is. You know how it is. And then Harry Osborn's widow, Liz, she's experimenting on Dylan, the poor kid. But the Life Foundation kind of wants the Venom symbiote to evolve. It has this huge potential. The Life Foundation also gives this guy this really cool suit that he can use to hunt symbiotes. So he fights the villain symbiote while it's not bonded to anyone after Dylan's been captured. And then Eddie tries to speak to his son through symbiotes. A lot of stuff happens. I'm trying not to be too terribly specific because I want you to be able to go read it yourself. But eventually, Dylan bonds with the symbiote again and evolves it to this new state. And we lose the chains immediately. But we do get kind of a new Venom symbol. And so it turns out this other King in Black that's kind of plotting against Eddie seems to have this huge personal grudge against him. Throws the symbiote Bedlam into the mix, just as Eddie saw in the future. And then Meridus is kind of going back and forth through time, manipulating events. And it's like, who is Meridus? Who is this King in Black? And it turns out Meridus, has all these other Kings in Black that are kind of under his thumb. It's really wild. And he possessed the symbiote that did all the killings. But it seems Meridus is a future version of the Venom symbiote that becomes a King in Black itself and has a deep, deep-seated hatred for Eddie and his family and anyone in his orbit. So I'm very interested to see what is going to happen in Volume 2. And then we get, our great cover galleries in the back. The art's really good. I think I maybe preferred the art a little bit in the Donny Cates one, but I really don't want to compare it to the Donny Cates run. But I feel like I have to, because the Donny Cates run is like the best Venom run ever, in my opinion. I've read most Venom comics, and it's really good. It's so good, and it's not as good as Volume 1 of Donny Cates was, but I see a lot of potential in this run. Al Ewing is an excellent writer. Ram V and the others are all doing excellent work. The art is great. I like where it's going. I like the focus on Dylan and not Eddie. Having this new Venom. I like it. That's one of the cool things about Venom is anyone can be Venom. It's part of the appeal of like Power Rangers and other characters that get their powers from some kind of object or something. Like anyone can be that. But the thing about Venom is even though anyone can be it, not everyone would want to be Venom. Like everyone would want to be like a Power Ranger. It was like, what's the real drawback to being a Power Ranger? There isn't really one. As long as you're willing to put your life on the line to help people. But Venom, a lot of drawbacks. Cool powers. A lot of drawbacks, though. So, this book does do a good job of feeling street level-y, but also kind of high cosmic at the same time. It's very interesting, because the stuff Eddie's doing is the real cosmic-y, high-powered stuff. And then Dylan is doing the more street-level stuff. So you get kind of both in this, which is really, really cool. So it does feel like it has a good balance between those two parts of the Venom mythos now. That I really like. I like Dylan as a character. He's real easy to understand. I feel like a lot of teens that read this book would relate to Dylan immensely. Immensely so. It really is a great book. It really is a great book. And I can see it doing pretty damn well in the future. Can't wait to read Volume 2. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. I have a lot more Venom to review, like from other runs and stuff. I want to do every Venom book ever. And hopefully I will be able to. So that is it. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.